Hey, ladies and gentlemen. That definitely doesn't sound like Freebird. I have to remember that chord progression. So what the heck is this video about? Here I am Sunday morning like a Johnny come lately. I'm trying to do a video. And for the longest time, I didn't have no clue, absolutely no clue what I should do next. Now, if you have any suggestions, go right ahead. But an idea struck me Saturday morning around 3 a.m. I was sleeping there. Ah, wow, George, you got an idea. So what is the big idea? The big idea is to ask myself a little question. As you know, or might not know, I played classic squad leader to the best of my ability, more so than advanced squad leader. So started in high school, late in high school, uh, the 10th or 11th grade, because we don't have grade 12 up here in Quebec. And played it for a couple of years then. Then life had its challenges. And then, of course, during marriage, blah. And then I finally opened up whatever I could. I savaged through plastic storage containers and put up, I think it was Hoop's Pocket on the board just to take a look at the counters and see what's going on. Of course, I had set up on what appeared to be a marsh. The guys in the Facebook page, Classic Squad Leader, told me about that mistake. And then the late Bob Osipov helped me out getting Vassal or VSQL up and running. And then another fellow flipped me over to ASL and he said, you know, George, that game system ain't working. You got to go to advanced. Now that system is much better, less lethal. Well, oh, by the way, I'm drinking Nescafe. Nescafe, I tried the McCafe. That's what my late father used to drink. Doesn't taste anything extraordinary. Nescafe is much better. Anywho, um, went over to ASL, but you know, where did it all start? It all started at the squad leader level. And initially, squad leader had only, in the base game, it only had 4 boards. It wasn't until uh, Cross of Iron that board 5, the Wooded Hex and the Woods Roads, were introduced in the gullies. So that added an extra layer of detail. Not complexity, but detail, because then you also had turreted tanks. So the idea that struck me was, in the basic game, you had a do-it-yourself scenario designer, and it came with a caveat. I'll show it to you right off the bat. Okay, I'll show it to you right off the bat. And the question is, if I design a scenario using the squad leader scenario designer, can I come up with a balanced, plausible game for advanced squad leader? That's the question I'm going to attempt to answer. This video is not going to be more than an hour long. I'm timing it, and there will be follow-up videos until I complete something that makes sense. And I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to attempt to use CoPilot to help me out with this, because I hate drawing cards, and I think my son owns all the deck of cards in this house. Um, and maybe I'll ask you guys what your thoughts are. And you can come up with ideas. I'm definitely going to post this video on the Classic Squad Leader Facebook page and see if they can come up with any ideas. They might hate it because I like ASL, but that's their problem. If anybody has hate in them, that's their problem, their prerogative, not mine. I don't concentrate on hate. I concentrate on good stuff, like good coffee. Now, before I go any further, if you guys were heavy metal fans, um, Iron Maiden and Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, jack up your volume to the max. I have a video and my in the audio input capture is goes all the way to the yellow. So I can't go further than that. Also, if you want to double time it, double speed it, go right ahead, you'll capture all the essence. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking to you about. So this is the squad leader uh, rule book in PDF. I have two copies of the original, but the originals that I have are the second edition, and this is a fourth edition copy. Now, the first edition and the second edition contained issues that were corrected. The fourth edition had issues as well, but you'll only find the corrections if you own um, Cross of Iron. And within Cross of Iron, there were other corrections, and some rules were too vague. And the other example of vagueness was temporary immobilized, or TI. TI was only discussed in the index, but nowhere in the rulebook could you find it. That's the beauty of having things in PDF. You can find things quickly. And on the ASL front, it was great to have the ebook. So we're talking about a chapter that was found towards the end of the rulebook, game set 4, design your own random scenario construction. Um, Caveat, however, for those to whom the game is the thing, an historical basis is unimportant. We offer the following scenario construction method utilizing randomly selected ad hoc forces. Ad hoc is the important thing here, and game over history is another keyword that describes this component. Um, but I am under the opinion that perhaps what you can do here is come up with this ad hoc scenario and possibly apply it to a historical scenario. We'll see. And the other important thing to realize is if we do this procedure, will we come up with anything plausible in advanced quality? So it depends on creating these scenarios, depends on drawing a deck of cards. And I'm going to use CoPilot because it's convenient, fast and convenient to use CoPilot. I'm not advocating the use of AI or not advocating it. I'm just going along with the flow and see what I can come up with all these random stuff. Now, select any three boards and butt them together into a combined playing surface, which is what I did in Vassal. So I did that in Vassal. Here it is. I kind of said to myself, what kind of terrain am I going to do I want to play with? And the terrain I came up with was up in the north, you got a mountain range, then you've got open ground, and it's very challenging. And then there's a village tax. Um, so the advantages of having a terrain like this is that if you can put things units up on the 3-level hills, they'll have almost unlimited line of sight. If they start in on board 4 here, they'll have to go through open ground, but a clever player can find blind spots where they can advance onto the village or advance onto the mountain. That's a bit like Hill 621, right? It's a bit like Hill 261, but the board configuration might be different. Keep in mind that a lot of these scenarios, a lot of these initial scenarios, well, starting off at least 12, started off with only having 4 boards available to them compared to the plethora of boards available in Advanced Squad Leader and terrain types. Yeah, from Crescendo of Doom and on, um, you had orchards and all these other terrain types that um, add flavor to the game. The other thing that's interesting is that right abouts here with the original boards, there were some changes done that changed the line of sight and also affected Hill 621. But anywho, let's go back and continue along this road. So step number 1 is done. Step number 2 is secure a normal 52 card deck and draw 1 card to determine the nationality of the defender. The second card drawn will determine the allied player is Russian or American. Okay, so let's do this in using CoPilot. All right. Um, there's CoPilot. Let's go here and see what we can do with this. Hey, I'd like to draw some cards from a 52 deck card. Could you help me? I don't want to draw the same card twice as um, the deck shouldn't be reshuffled with the drawn card. With this in mind, can you draw two cards for me and tell me what they are? Let's see what it's going to draw. Absolutely, let's play with a virtual 52 Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts is a red, so Allied and American. Let's put that down. Actually, I also have a master Word document where I can put Allied and American. So obviously, obviously, we're playing against the Germans. The Germans is going to be the attacker. Um, the American will be the defender. You can make it into the Hurton Forest without the forest. What the heck? Something to that effect. Now, the third card drawn will determine the board in which the defender will start his forces. If the board which is drawn is not in play, you may choose the starting board after the attack force process selected. All right, let's see. We definitely don't want a club. Please draw another card. Let's see what that's going to give me. 10 of diamonds. Diamonds is board number 2. So the Americans are going to defend on board number 2. So let's go to the our boards, and here it is. We're going to put um, a allied American sniper counter on board 2 to signify that these guys, these Americans, are going to be defending the mountain range. Could be a counter attack on a German counter attack on for D-Day. Okay, let's go back and say okay, we got that. The fourth card drawn will determine the length of turns. Great, great. Please draw another card. And what do we got? Drawing another card from the freshly reshuffled deck. Your card is Ace of Clubs. Ace of Clubs. 4 turns. 4 turns. Take a note of that as well. All right, so now we'll go to Neil's uh, board and or website, and what are we going to do? Make a turn counter. Maybe. Let's see. Hold on one second. where we at? We're there. And give me a moment. I'll pull up Neil's site. War games and advanced squad leader tables and phase reminder. Looks like the site is down. Let's try one more time. Human wave, vassal information table generator. That's it. Here it is. Yeah, I'm bombarding you with a lot of stuff here, but it's all good knowledge. So we want a, let's say, vertical and veranda, Times New Roman, Courier New. It's okay. That looks nice. So scenario number, SL randomly, random, scenario name, my random scenario for now, and date, let's say 1944. Let's say spring of 1944, May 1944, scenario location, somewhere in France. And 4 turns, and this is the player that moves first. It will be the Germans, anonymous, Hans. ELR would be 3, sniper 2, and then info for player number 2 is anonymous Joe. Americans, ELR. I'm gonna ELR them at 4. You know, they have beef jerky, they have beef in a can, Hershey's chocolate, and their sign will be a 3. Bit unfair, but now you might ask, George, how about the victory location, the victory conditions? Well, the 5th card drawn we're getting there. The 5th card drawn will determine the composition of the defending forces. That's the Americans. So, with no further ado, let's go to Pilot. CoPilot and say, please draw another card. And don't forget to compliment it. You are doing a great job. 3 of hearts. There's a nice board here. What the heck? Why don't we have hearts here? I got clubs, diamonds. Clubs, diamonds. The 5th card drawn will determine the composition. Compare the card drawn with the corresponding line of random selection chart. I got clubs and clubs. Okay. There is no spades and diamonds. Well, let's choose between diamond number 1 and diamond number 2. And what card was it? 3 of hearts. Let's see, 13. Well, I want to play with 13 or 18 or 13. Either way, it's the same thing. Maybe they're missing a couple of pages, or here's a campaign game. There's no other chart. I don't have to actually look in the rule book, but let's say we're dealing with this thing here. So we got 3 6 or 13, a 9 minus 2 leader. It's not diamonds. See, guys, I just pulled out the real book, and according to the book, not the PDF, because the PDF seems to have PDF 2 pages over, or doesn't have the second part. There's something wrong with that. So let's see, 3 of hearts, what does that give me? And we'll put the units on board too. Um, let's go back here and let's go back uh, here and get the counter tray out, and we can put them in as they go. So according to this, I need some squads. Uh, where's my allied OP? There's the Americans squads, and I need uh, 5 666s. So let's put them somewhere we can see them. 1, 2, clone those two makes a 4 and a 5. Okay. Then I need 3 747s, engineers, make them assault engineers, paratroopers. I have a funny symbol there. Oh, those looks like Marines. So let's just put the 747s. 3 of those. 1 clone and 3 clone. All right, then we go to, in terms of leaders, wow. In terms of leaders, excuse me a moment. Wow, smells beautifully. Beautiful smell. In terms of leaders, we have 2 9-1 leaders. Wow. Vehicle, single man counters, 9-1, we'll name them later. 1 and 2. 2 9-1 leaders. Wonder if they made any corrections to the game on with respect to that. Doesn't look like it. Looks kind of different, to be honest with you. And then PDF. More aligned. And then look at the loss chart in the old book. All right. Moving right along, we got 2 9-1 leaders and 2 280 leaders. 4 leaders. All right, and then one heavy, 50 cal baby, support weapons. Been used for centuries. There's a 50 cal. Both have a rate of fire of 3, but this guy has a range of 16. Killer. Okay, and then we got 4 what? 4 LMGs? Seriously? I don't even think that the basic game had that many American light machine guns. Did it? Let me take a look. Maybe. I have one tray and a couple of baggies for my squad leader game. All right, we'll go back to Three of Hearts. Three of Hearts designer notes. This is in immaculate condition. I'm not selling it anytime soon. All right, 4 LMGs. So be it. 2 6s, and 1 portage point. Clone and clone. There are 4. 4 LMGs, and that's 1 what? 1 105. That's a priest. So let's go to vehicle. How many 105s do we have? Uh, These are light. These are medium. Tank and tank destroyers. Half tracks. I'm gonna do it AA. Nope. Uh, this, that. No spa, maybe. Yeah, that's a 105. You can do that, or never used any of these. Let's use this baby. I don't think you'd ever seen that action in Europe. That baby. Not these babies. Let's see something. G10, no. M10, 90. Half track, no. AA, no. Port guns. M8, M7, G12, H37, M39. Let's see what we got here. M40, nope. M41, M8. What is this guy all about? Let's take a close look at it. Never seen it happen. I wonder if that is from the Korean War. Let's give them a decent. Um, I'm not gonna go by the book. I'm gonna. It only has a German equivalent, so I'm gonna put a heavy tank. But I'm on under the Americans, light, medium, M4, M105. This should do. Let's see what else do we got here. I want to deal with something that I'm comfortable with. Okay, going back to the three of hearts. That's basically it. Now, that's basically it. So let's focus in on the board. See what we got here. I like to spread out my units. I said the sniper is going to be a 3. Increase that. Increase and increase. Now, of course, there isn't any sniper rules in Classic Squad Leader. And let's see what else I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a platoon here, 3 squads, and uh, got 5 here. Okay, and 4 leaders. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of firepower. 8 firepower factors at 3 and plus this baby here. So we got our defenders on board. Let's go back and see what else we have left to do. So this was a complete fail. I wish they had the other half of the chart in the PDF, but fortunately, when you got the actual book. All right, now what's left? What's left here is the 5th card will determine the composition of the defending forces. And you might be asking, well, how about the attacker? Well, we'll figure it out. Okay. The 6th card drawn will determine the victory conditions. That's why I hesitated to um, complete the Neos chart. All right, so card number 2, victory conditions. Oh, it goes all the way up to king and ace. Check it out. All right, so Hey, great. A gentle emotional touch. This is once all about connection and creativity. Here's your current lineup. Oh, okay. They're summarizing the draws. Okay. Okay. Please draw another card. And the card is Jack of Spades. Good stuff. Jack. The attacker must be the sole occupant at game of the largest building on the defender's board. Okay, I'm going to change that. Okay, the two buildings in 2V8 and 2W9 together constitute the largest building on board 2. Okay, awesome. So let's go to board 2 and say, what did it say? It said 2V8 and 2W9. 2V8 and 2W9. So go back to Neil's chart, and what we're going to do is the Germans win at game end by being in control of 2V8 and capital 2W9, all caps. That looks good. Let's preview. Ba, 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 ba. So the victory conditions and Germans win, blah, blah, blah. This looks horizontal to me. Do I want vertical? Vertical. There's vertical. That looks beautiful. Look at that. Good job, Neil. Good job, George. All right, copy to HTML, and let's go to our board. And also, I don't know why I need this here because I'm not going to be doing any dice rolls, but I want to go here to the edge and pick up a label, or pick up a label from here. Label, no background is good. Put them here and open up the label and copy Neil's code, and hopefully it works. Because my HTML links don't work anymore. It works. Okay. So we got something. We got something going here. I'm not too sure what to make out of these guys. A lot of LMGs. No scenario that I've played in ASL has Americans with LMGs. Alrighty then. So what's next? Let's go back to our procedure. We got the victory conditions. Now, at this point, both players must concur that the scenario as presently constituted will result in a satisfactory game. If either player feels that the scenario is an unavoidable win for the other side, the random selection process should be repeated until agreements can be reached. Now, my question to you at this point is, who's the attacker? Why is point 7 even discussed before we determine what is the attacking force? Now, number 8, players agree on which numbered rule sections they will not utilize in the scenario. So there was a lot of modularization of the rules in Squad Leader, and that was always a downer for me because, oh, you would have a situation where the opposing players say, oh, we're not playing with that rule set. We're not playing with second level. I'm assuming that whether you're on the first level or second level, you have line of sight to me. And that was always did we discuss it really? Isn't it past? Why can't we use, we graduated all 12 scenarios. Now, why can't we use all the rules? Basically, you can ask yourself as well. Let's say for scenario 1, was it play tested with all the rules in play? And how different does it become? Oh, play it at the ASL level and then tell me how different it is. It's diametrically different. So we don't have to worry about number 8 or number 7 because number 9 says both players then secretly compose on paper, right? That should have been number 9 should have been number 7. Um, Both players then secretly compose on paper the attacking force they feel is necessary to accomplish their victory conditions and privately add the point value derived from the uh, point value chart. Now, um, of all the units and they're forced to arrive at an overall point cost of their force. Now it becomes another discussion, and I'm going to use Copilot, but I'm going to ask you the question is if I have a it's a two-part question, right? If I have this force, what composition of German forces do I need to succeed and balance the game, really? Because I don't want um, an unbalanced game. Um, and keeping in mind, the two victory locations are 2v8 here and W9 here. So possibly, I would probably set up something uh, like this, concealed. I would probably put this fellow here. Um, I could conceivably also put a couple of folks here. And this fellow would go underneath. And this fellow can go like this. And I don't know how I would position these guys, but something like that, right? If I'm protecting everything, of course you got 4 turns left, so only 4 turns. So I don't know if board 3 is even required. I would probably start the Germans somewhere on the edge of board 4 and 3 and take it away some. And it's probably a good baston or something to that era type of um, you know borderline Germany type of thing. And Germans are counterattacking, or maybe D-Day. Of course, when we put 1944, that matters in advanced squad leader because we're talking about Germans and having Panzerfausts. All right then. So that is the question. Now, let me put them back in some semblance of order. So I remember what is the force composition. And I'm going to ask the question to Copilot to see what it comes up with. Now, Copilot, according to some AI experts, is probably not the best AI engine that you can use. I don't really care one way or another because uh, I, I use AI to work wise, right? But from a hobby perspective, I like to keep things light and simple and not heavy. Um, so, so with that said, let's um, let's see what we got here. We got 4 liters, 9 minus 2, 9 minus 1, times 2, 80 times 2, 666s times 5, 747s. Isn't that an airplane? Times three. Uh, four LMGs, one 50 cal, and a 105 M10. I was going to be able to find a priest. The basic game had one, but had kind of a little bit of difficulty. I know the British had one. All right, so let's ask. Let's ask also CoPilot. Oh, wrong one. Here. All right. I am trying to design. I am trying to design a balanced scenario. A scenario pitting the American forces against Germans during World War II. Of course, I guess of course is two words. I am talking about ASL again, or let's just give it Advanced Squad Leader. And World War II history. I would like your opinion in terms of attacking a U.S. force on a mountainside comprised of uh, two 9-1 leaders, two 8-0 leaders, five 6-6-6 squads, three 7-4-7 squads, armed with four LMGs and one HMG, accompanied with a 105 M AFV. What should the German composition of forces be to have a fun and balanced game? Let's see what it comes up with. And I'm interested in knowing your advice. All right, it says 2-9-2. Okay, U.S. American Defensive Force recap leaders 2-9-1, 2-8-0s. Infantry 6-6 elites. Well, they're not elite, and 3-7-4-7 assaults. Support weapons 4 LMGs, 1 HMG. Armor 105. Likely an M7 priest or similar. That's what I was looking for, but I didn't find it. Mountain elevation advantage. Loss control. Defensive bonuses. Great. This is a strong defensive force with good morale, firepower, and terrain advantage. HMG and AFE can dominate open approaches. The 9-1 leaders will make those squads stubborn to break. Recommended German attacking force. Leaders 1-2. I'm taking note. 1-2. That's a staller. 2 8-1s. 170 radio operator or backup. I'll give him a radio. With 80 radio with 80 mm HE smoke. Infantry 4-6-7. 6 4-6-7s. Nice. 4 4-4-7s. Second line. Oh, optional. 2 5/4/8. 3 LMGs and 1 MMG. Of course, the Panzerschreck is going to take care of and 1 Panzerschreck. I said something to the tune of 80 millimeter mortar. Yeah, it's more dependable than the 105 or the 70. Maybe put 70 instead of 80. Yeah, because at that stage of the war, all the 80 millimeter mortars were on the Eastern Front. And 1 Stug, optional 1 half track for flanking. Sniper 304, 1 DC charge bunker clearing. That's a lot, but 1 Stug, 3, 1 half track, and 1 DC charge. Huh. Let's put that on the board. And while I'm doing that, discuss amongst yourselves if I am losing my marbles or I'm onto something good here. So I'm going to start off the Germans on the edge of board 3. I'm going to pull out my counter tray and lay down what CoPilot said. So let's go to OBA. Oh, that's not my counter tray, for crying out loud. Where's my counter tray? There it is. Okay, let's go now um, the axis. American axis. Axis. So we got a sniper. I'm going to keep the sniper at 2. So increase and increase. There you go. I need one of these. I like these little counters. I need an AR. And then let's go to single man counters. Single man counters. We got 1 9 minus 2. I'm going to name this guy Staller right off the bat. The other guys I still haven't, I don't know. Staller, 8 minus 1. That guy, that fellow is 8 minus 1. There's 2 of them. A name is Ul. And Pitts. Should I call him Pitts? Nah. Name, Bueller. He's Prussian. And then I got a 7-0. Link. Name, Clink. All right, let's go to squads. 4 6 7s. 6 4 6 7s. 1 2 3 and clone. And then a 4 4 4 7s. 1 2 3 and 4. 1 2 3 4. 2 5/4/8. Interesting. 3 LMGs, which is not. It's pretty simple. 3 LMGs. No, it's pretty typical. This is what I wanted to say. That's the word I was looking for. 1 MMG. Looks like a lot of people have been using this monster to play a game. 1's Panzerschreck, so light anti-tank weapons. Where the heck is the Panzerschreck? There it is. And we agreed 1 DC, a radio. You know what? We're going to use a phone instead. Nah, radio's good. A half track and a Stug. So let's see, what kind of half track are we going to use? Where are the vehicles? Here, half track. What kind of half tracks are they? 20L, 75, 81. I'm wondering, maybe I should use one of these babies. MG, no. 251, no. Let's make it interesting. Here's a small target after all is said and done. Might as well give them an A gun as well. All right, we'll use that baby. Then, and you know what? I'm going to change some of the. I'm going to change the LMGs to bazookas. No American force had that many uh, LMGs, and the reason why the the squads were given 6 firepower factors is because they're considered having a bar for every squad. So vehicle, the good old Stoogie. Where is the good old Stoogie? Assault gun, Stug 3, Stug G. Stug G as in George. We got Stug B, Stug G, 75L. Let's give it a 75L. And maybe it appears to be imbalanced, but we can tweak it. And for the Americans, I want to give them a little American counter. Allied OB, this thingy baby, and then here we go. No, that is neat. Look, we should make that red, white, and blue. That's what it should be. All right, so there you go. I I came to the point. Let's see. Do I have anything else? Any other tasks to do? Players simultaneously reveal the composition of point cost of their attacks. The player with the lesser overall point cost attack becomes the attacking player, gets the force he has selected, and sets up any boards of his choice. It becomes a bit of an auction. The other player becomes the defender and sets up the earlier prescribed defending forces. If both players select equal point cost attack forces, resolve the matter of the side with a die roll. That's a good way of trying to come up with a composition of your forces. Alternatively, you can look at historical records, but then you got to ask yourself, do I have a balance scenario? Does balance trump historical um, historical accuracy? An ordnance can set up within 12 hexes of the defender's position, in or about out of its loss, and no attacker may set up in hexes or half squads or half hexes adjacent to the defender's board. That was clarified in advance earlier, so thank you very much. I won't follow that. Defending nationality does not have sufficient numbers of a listed counter type. Russian demo charge, Panzer, flamethrower, and its counter mix. The defender may substitute counter of its choice, not exceeding the total point value of the available units. So there's also substitution involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I have here something that resembles a plausible scenario using the old game. I will solicit your suggestions as to how the composition of these forces should change. And I'm going to play the scenario over the coming weeks and share it with you. I'm going to play it solo, to the best of my ability, both sides. I know there are rules out there for playing both sides. I looked at them, but I think I need tutoring on how to use them to what they're saying. Um, I think ultimately, playing both sides is pretty nifty. Um, and I'm going to come up with a scenario card and try to fit it in a perspective where these forces do make sense. But before I forget, let's exchange uh, the LMGs for bazookas because, as the rulebook stated, um, we can substitute stuff. So bazooka 44s. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get rid of these babies. Yeah. My next step is to save this SSF. Like I said before, I'm repeating myself and play it over the course of the weeks. And hopefully this will be provide with some content to help everybody and keep them entertained. Um, like I said before, if you have any suggestions about what the composition of the forces should be, tweak them, or if you are aware of a historical battle that fits the description of the forces, let me know, and ultimately we'll design together our own scenario card and submit it to MVP. Kurt, if you're watching, buddy, I'm planning to bring content your way, and Brian Hughes, and Ken, and Perry. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep a cheerful spirit up. Stay positive, and see you soon.